Short moments ago. In that arena, fighting tonight, will be this man in defense of his WBC heavyweight championship of the world, Larry Holmes. The opponent, Leon Spinks. Larry, as you fight Spinks, is perhaps Jerry Cooney lurking in the background of your mind? Are you looking past Leon?
I'm not looking past Leon. I worked very hard for Leon Spinks. Leon is a competitor, and he's going to be there. So I'm not looking past Leon Spinks. But it comes a time when we all say, what's next? So if it's possible, a Jerry Cooney could be next.
I must say, you're in the best condition I've seen you in, literally in years. 212 pounds. Why work so hard for this opponent?
Well, Howard, I feel like I need to work again, and I got the desire to work, and I feel good about boxing. I feel good about this fight.
Can you take Spinks seriously? What in his background would lead you to?
Yes, I can take Spinks seriously because the things that they said I cannot go by, because I've seen him fight. I know that he's going to be out there giving every minute, every second of everything he got. So I'm going to be ready for whatever Leon has to offer.
But he's never fought a man like you. When he fought Ali, Ali was a shell of himself. You've got a 5-inch reach advantage. What's he going to do?
I think Leon would try to get inside. He would try to work to my body. A lot of people think I got a weak body, but that's what Leon's going to make his mistakes, because he's going to have to get past the jab, and then when you get past the jab, the right will come, and the right uppercut will come. I think I can take Leon out before the 15th round.
Before the 50th?
Before the 15th round. Leon will fall.
Should be very quick, don't you think?
I would like it to be in 30 seconds, however, because I'm not in advertising business. But I don't think I'm going to get that lucky. I think Leon is a little bit better fighter than that. And I think this is one fight he will be up for, because any fighter who fights for the heavyweight title gets up more than they would get up for an ordinary fight.
Still haunted by the absence of recognition, especially after the Berbick fight?
No, I'm not hunted after that. Only the critics puts that burden on me. But I've been fighting well. I've been on ABC many times, and Howard, you have given my just dues, and that's all I worry about. I'm happy with what I got.
And personal. In the backdrop there, the gateway arch of the city of St. Louis, Missouri, a symbol of hope for the future, the city of Leon Spinks, but in the foreground, the very ghetto area where Leon grew up. It was known as the Pruitt Ego Project, and they dynamited it some years back into oblivion. You grow up in a background like that, with your father gone, your mother on welfare, one of many children. Troubles are bound to come early, and that happened to Leon Spinks. But he used his only tools, his fist, to suddenly burst into national prominence. That happened in 1976, the Forum in Montreal, for the gold against a great Cuban fighter, Sisto Soria. Watch this right lead. There it was, and Soria was done away with, and there was joy for Spinks, who came still further in February of '78. He became the heavyweight champion of the world, defeating the legend Muhammad Ali. After that, troubles, and Leon Spinks ruminates about what happened.
Well, I was the happiest man on earth. I was just ready to live life just like everybody else. But being a heavyweight champion didn't let that be like that. So it brought a whole lot of obligations for me to do, and I didn't know then. So I had a lot of trouble during that year.
A lot of troubles was an understatement. A drug charge. He was acquitted of that. Endless traffic violations, lawsuits. He threw everything away.
When out in the world, too much for my nerves, well, only myself to blame. See, I was just a boy, and there was nobody else to blame. Worked hard and failed, now all I can say is I threw it all away. Oh, I was just a boy, giving it all away.
He lost his title back to Ali in September of '78. An easy victory for Ali, and Spinks was back nowhere. For 9 months he disappeared. Then the attempted comeback at Monte Carlo against Harry Coetzee of the Republic of South Africa. This in the first round, and it seemed that Spinks' career was totally over. But even after this disastrous defeat, where he burst into tears there in the ring, he hung on and came back. Won 4 fights in a row, including this one against the #1 rated WBC heavyweight contender. That's how he got his title shot. Victory in the 9th round. Where has he been training for the title shot? Not in the old haunts, but up in the woods of central Michigan, near the little town of Harrietta, population 192. His only disco music is radio, as he works the ring and works the ring, trying to get back the kind of competitive urge that brought him the gold in Montreal in '76, when he beat a more polished fighter, strictly on the basis of competitive drive. Now a second chance for Leon Spinks, and he knows it.
I'm just going to devote more of my time to what my job is about. I'm gonna be what the people want, what a champ is supposed to be.
Leon Spinks, up close and personal, as noted earlier, a checkered life. Again, you're looking at a panoramic shot of the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan, and there in his dressing room is Larry Holmes working up a sweat, getting ready to come out into the ring and to defend against Leon Spinks. Larry Holmes, the man with the great statistics, but the man eternally questing for public recognition. Why? Let's look at his boxing history. Remember this, it's when Larry Holmes won his heavyweight title, a near classic fight against Kenny Norton, both fighters utterly exhausted at the finish. As the champion, Holmes has never gotten recognition because of the supposed lesser quality of his opponents. Defenses began with this one, Alfredo Evangelista, the Spanish Bull, November of '78, and the Bull went down in round 7, right there. Then another unknown from Puerto Rico, Ozzy Ocasio, March of '79. And this one, too, ended in round 7. Ocasio awkward, but not skilled. And then Mike Weaver, June of '79. By round 11, Holmes in trouble. Some felt that he wanted to quit. But Holmes showed something in that fight. Comeback capacity. Near the end of the 11th, that right uppercut felled Weaver, and the fight ended early in the next round. Against Ernie Shavers, another scare, September of '79. This was in round 7, too. Watch. And down went Holmes. But he got up quickly enough, and by round 11, it was over for Ernie Shavers. He had taken a fearful beating. Then in February of 1980 against Lorenzo Zanone. This one ended in round 6, but Holmes did not fight well. And then against the heavy Leroy Jones, who took a terrific pummeling, the end came in round 8, right there. After that, an absolute farce in Minneapolis against Scott Ledoux. It was target practice for Larry Holmes, and that ended in the 7th round. Then, the unfortunate sight of Muhammad Ali in October of 1980 in Las Vegas. Helpless as Holmes peppered him. This was 9th round action. Ali did not come out for the 11th. Then the most recent defense against Trevor Berbick, April of 1981. Holmes won with ease, but couldn't put Berbick away, creating further doubts in some minds about Larry. But statistically has been brilliant, up there with the greatest, and indeed has an outside chance to surpass even Rocky Marciano in consecutive winning streak. And finally, in each and every fight, Holmes rarely gives the opponent more than 1 round. No, he has been, I think, solid and respectable in the face of his boxing history. That is Michael Spinks in the cap, and behind him, Brother Leon. Michael perhaps on his way to winning the light heavyweight crown with Leon's hands on his shoulders. Michael, a tremendously fine fighter. Leon, at 225 pounds, seems beautifully conditioned. He has never been a fighter possessed of polished boxing skills. Never. He didn't have that at Montreal when he won the gold. What he had was the deepest competitive drive you could ever want to see in a fighter. And I think he carries that drive with him tonight. We'll be back in Detroit in a moment. Back at Joe Louis Arena, in the ring, Leon Spinks, the crowd noise rising. Larry Holmes about to join him. There comes Larry Holmes. He is 32, Spinks is 27. He has a 5-inch edge in reach. So Leon Spinks will have to probably try to do what Larry Holmes said in the interview earlier seen with Larry. Keep charging, somehow get inside. But can he avoid the punishment of the Holmes jab, a stinging, jarring jab? Or can he keep Holmes moving, because Larry's jab is most effective when he can stand flat-footed and just pour it in there, double and triple on it. We'll see. 15 rounds scheduled for 10-point must system. The crowd begins to roar. WBC rules, 3 judges, and they will score the fight. The referee will not have a voice in the scoring. No saving by the bell except in the last round. It's a big ring. Holmes should be able to use it beautifully. Look at how fast those hands are. That's his greatest talent. Foot and hand speed. Great side-to-side or lateral movement. 20 feet 6 inches, so much room to negotiate. The referee, Richard Steele, a good man, a young man, but a veteran man. There is the Leon Spinks ring record. Richard Steele from Los Angeles, the 3rd man in the ring. The judges, all veteran boxing judges. Harold Letterman of New York, Rudy Ortega of Oakland, California, and Hank Elespinu of Sacramento, California.
Spinks
Just introduced to the crowd. And he's here in Detroit often, though he says he will always call St. Louis home, but he's got a host of fans here.
212 1/4 pounds. From Easton, Pennsylvania, the undefeated Easton Assassin, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes.
The crowd favorite within the arena, obviously Leon Spinks. Larry Holmes from Easton, Pennsylvania, the home of the Lafayette Leopards, Lafayette College. The Easton Assassin, they call Holmes in the pugilistic vernacular. And instructions now to both fighters from referee Richard Steele. Spinks nodding and looking down. Holmes looking squarely at Spinks. The tail of the tape, the key factor, the difference in reach. What an edge for Holmes. We await the start of action, the bell for round 1. 12-pound weight advantage for Holmes, but that's not consequential. The bell. Larry quickly trying to use the left jab. And moving. Spinks pursuing. He can be wild, he is unpolished, but he can be dangerous. Witness his knockout of Bernardo Machado in the 9th round, when Machado was top-rated WBC contender, and that's what got Leon this shot. Holmes is not, never has been a one-punch knocker out. Though in his 37 victories, he has scored almost 30 knockouts. A good right by Larry Holmes. Spinks' problem, how to get in there and do some damage. 10 seconds into the first round. Larry has that big ring to use. Spinks getting in, trying to maul and brawl. Who give Spinks an excellent chance. Larry with a good right lead caught Spinks in the head. Will Grimsley of the AP, veteran bulldogging boxing reporter, has picked Spinks to win. Michael Katz of the Times gives him an excellent chance of the New York Times. With 2 minutes into round one, crowd yelled, but Holmes' glove picked off the Spinks glove. Seconds left in the first round. Holmes boxing skillfully. At this point, winning the round. Spinks trying to be all over him, pursuing him. It excites the crowd. But it's Holmes who does most of the scoring. Saw the wild right up on the shoulder. That did get to Holmes, but it won't hurt him there. The end of round one at hand. We're back in Detroit, ringside. Round two just underway. Holmes, in my view, won the first round, but Holmes has a tendency to rattle, and the wildness of Spinks may do just that. At times he lost his cool against Trevor Berbick, not a noteworthy opponent. Spinks far more dangerous than Berbick. 30 seconds into round two. Leon bobbing and weaving and trying to get inside. Long left, only a glancing blow. By the time it landed, Richard Steele, the third man in the ring. Los Angeles, California. Good, quick referee, keeps position well. Two good lefts by Holmes.
All right, break. Step back. Don't hold.
Holmes swinging him around, spinning Spinks off. With a superior height and reach, he almost dwarfs Spinks, or it looked that way at the weigh-in even more than it does in the ring. Spinks connected there. He had Holmes against the ropes and he connected. His best connection of the night. The second time Ali fought Spinks, when he won easily, you saw the good right land on Spinks. Ali began putting his punches together in the fourth round. Throughout the fight, he outmuscled Spinks, using his superior size and upper body strength to maul him all over the ring. Holmes has not tried to do that. Holmes, a man who uses movement. 50 seconds left in round two. Better round for Spinks than round one. He got in a good blow to the Holmes midsection. Holmes has not been able to fight his fight. In this round, Spinks is fighting his fight. And Holmes missed. He's a touch rattled. The wildness of Spinks is troubling. There was a mistaken bell. There was a mistaken bell that caused Holmes to pause, and Spinks took advantage. One. Now they're teeing off together. In one corner, the seconds got into the ring thinking the round had ended. It will end right now, but Spinks in control. We're back live. Holmes waiting for Spinks in the middle of the ring. William Hunter, the timekeeper, clanged his bell 25 Spinks has shown that he is, well, he's never been afraid of anybody in his life, and we may have a good fight here. Holmes an overwhelming favorite, of course. But Spinks, an awkward, troublesome guy. No, that's a slip. Quickly, Richard Steele over. Holmes pushed Spinks off, and Steele right on top of the action. Spinks making the fight and rattling Holmes, who's not fighting with a great deal of self-possession. We're a minute into the round. Surprising to see Larry lose his cool. Oh, a good left to the belly, then he doubled to the head. Excellent. Holmes knows he's in a fight. That's how wild Spinks is. Leaning all over Holmes, halfway, falling down, and Holmes is now scoring heavily against Spinks. Now he's fighting boxing basics. He's scoring at left to the belly, hurt Spinks. Spinks is getting it. He hasn't been able to get away from the ropes, and Holmes is really teeing off on him. Has him measured. You see the left measuring him, then the right, and then the left, and Spinks is ready to go, and goes very quickly. Larry Holmes got to him and took total command, just as quickly as he had seemed rapid. Spinks up, count concluded, and back comes Holmes, and Spinks is dazed, bewildered. He's stuck in the corner, the worst place for him to be, but the movement has gone from his legs, and if Holmes now measuring, the key to this, don't lose your head, work the opponent, don't try to put him away too soon, leave yourself open. He is just killing him, and the fight is stopped that quickly. Towel thrown in. Towel thrown in, the fight stopped, and it's over for Leon Spinks. And this may be the end of the Leon Spinks career. Larry Holmes actually troubled in the second round, having won the first round easily. Steele says the towel had nothing to do with it. He stopped it on his own. You can't stop a championship fight with a towel from the corner. So Richard Steele has said that he stopped it on his own, and he did the right thing, the referee did. Let's look at it again. Spinks stuck against the ropes, right near the corner, virtually in the corner. And Holmes going at him, teeing off on him. Spinks utterly out, really. Got up from that, but went down again, and it was stopped. This, again, the replay. See the way he measured him with his left and then came through with the, look at that right uppercut, and that right. So Larry Holmes, 38 fights, 38 victories. They can say what they want about the quality of the opposition when it comes to Holmes, but he hasn't picked them. He's fought virtually everybody around. Next in line, Jerry Cooney and a kid named Greg Page. That's the way Spinks went down. Still another replay, hitting him at will.
Larry Holmes.
How quickly the tide turned for Leon Spinks, because in the second round it looked like he had a chance. In the third round it became what it was in the first round, only Holmes came out to fight. Disappointed and angry with himself over the second round. He came out to fight, and it was no contest. In fact, a mismatch. Larry Holmes, minute 26 of the third round, winner on a technical knockout. The bout stopped by referee Richard Steele on his own. We will be back in Joe Louis Arena, and there is the defeated Leon Spinks.
Okay, give me another chair, please. Have a chair over here,
Well, we're back at ringside in the Joe Louis Arena, and with me, having successfully defended his crown, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes. Quickly, Mrs. Holmes now coming in to hug the champion. Larry, let's quickly review the fight. The first round was easy. You outboxed him. You used movement. What happened in the second round when he seemed to have you A, rattled, and B, angry?
Well, first before I explain that, Howard, I would like to say happy birthday to my daughter, Lisa. Hi to Misty, my daughter, Belinda. I want to say hi to all of them, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Reverend Jacobs, all my friends at round one. And don't forget to take care of your bartenders and waitresses. And then the second,
now answer the question.
I like to say, I heard the bell, but like you said, it was probably a false bell. But I stopped fighting, and he kept coming. And he started hitting me. I think that was good for me because it made me get out there and make this guy respect me because he had no respect at all. And before you ask me the next question, I'd like to say hi to my good old friend Jim Spinks and say
all right, you've said hi to everybody. Now, never mind ABC. You happen to be on our network, but I don't want any plugs for it.
I ain't giving you none either.
Okay. Now, you said what mattered because it's what I said. It made you angry, that false bell, and when he came at you and he scored against you. Might even have won the second round for him, who knows. So you came out and no more moving. You just came out and went right at him, right?
Yes, Howard. I started using a stronger left jab, doubling up on my jab, and I was finding the range because he was moving a lot, and it was only a matter of time. But that's just to show you, I don't know what's happening to boxing. This man was out on his feet, hurt, and the man let him get up and continue to take punches. It don't make any sense. And I'm just glad that nothing happened to Leon because I think he's a hell of an athlete.
All right,
and he deserves all the credit.
Hate to interrupt you. What I want to do now is show you that final round and show me where you thought the fight should have been stopped.
Okay, Howard.
You were out in the middle of the ring waiting for him.
Challenging. Challenging. Come on, Leon. I'm strong, I'm bigger. I don't have to move from you. Come on in. He says fight told me. It's a fight. So we fought.
And you started quickly getting that left jab in.
Left hand after the right hand. Follow. My brother Jake, he predicted the third round with a right hand again. So Leon wanted to get me on the ropes and try to work. He started very fast. And I knew it would be a matter of time because he'll run into punches because he was running into punches very early.
You spun off the ropes and now back to ring center. And then the way it wound up, you had Leon on the ropes.
Yes.
That was a slip. There you pushed him off. That was a proper call.
Right. Then he came charging and ran into a right hand. See, all his punches he throwing was blocked.
Picked off very well, I must say. That you did.
And he started throwing, and he ran right into a right hand.
That right hand right there.
See, I was doubling up left hook and right hand, too.
That's right. The left to the belly and then up to the head. You doubled on the left. Very good. Now you begin to get. There's that right.
That's the right hand. That was the right hand. That stepped in.
Right there, you knew he was hurt, didn't you? That's when you stood flat-footed, measured him with the left, and teed off with the right.
Hand right there. See, he's hurt. There's another right to the body. There's another one.
That's when I started hollering.
Another right hand.
Because I knew he was hurt.
See, he was hurt right there. They didn't.
I knew it. I said, stop the fight. Stop the fight.
All right, Con, please, let Larry talk.
And he went down. He was. I didn't think he was going to get up.
Now, you thought it should have been stopped.
Yes, I didn't think he was going to get up. But when he got up, they continued to let me bang away on Leon. Like, kill him, go ahead.
And you didn't want to do it.
And I didn't want to do it, but
Did you say anything to Richard Steele, the referee?
I said afterwards. I said afterwards, what's going on? What's going on, I said. Leon trying to fight back, but he can't fight.
Pinioned in the corner there, just taking the blow.
Right hand, his body, measuring him, Howard, right after right. Body punches.
Well, it's unfortunate. It's been an unfortunate career for Leon. After those two flashes of glory, the gold in Montreal, the night he beat Ali. But our congratulations to you, Larry. We're back on camera now. There's another young man in this arena tonight. His name is Jerry Cooney.
Howard.
And you won him.
I'm going to slap his face as you bring him over here. And I don't even want to talk about it, Cooney, until you put his name on the contract. If you come over here, we're going to fight right now.
Come on.
Fight right now. You come over here.
Come on.
Right here.
Well, here we go again.
Get him out of here.
I-
Get him out.
Come over here. I'm going to fight him right now.
No, wow.
Right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Please, Larry. Please. I'm sorry. Well, I remember once.
Hey, what's up?
I remember once at a convention when Dan Rather got pushed around and he said, all in a day's work. So that's all in a day's work. I shall wipe my mouth and we'll be back at ringside in just a moment. Well, we're back at ringside. No, it didn't come down to a fist fight, but we're alive and well, and that's for the benefit of my wife, who I hope is watching. And here's Jerry Cooney with a smile across his face for the whole human race. What did you think of that display by Holmes?
Display after the fight or during the fight?
After the fight with you.
Just goes to show what I've been saying, that he's a poor champion. I mean, how does a heavyweight champion of the world conduct himself in such a manner to hurt people and put harm on people like that? It's silly. It's all silly. And I think it's all orchestrated from him and Don King. Don King is talking about offering $5 million for a fight. He offered $5 million after I was signed to fight Mike Weaver in October.
What was your view of Holmes' performance tonight?
I thought he looked well. I think that Leon came out, tried to gain the respect. I think Larry Holmes hurt him, but I was watching in the corner. I was shooting pictures, and Leon's corner couldn't see Leon's eyes, and they must have thought he was hurt, more hurt so than he was. But I saw his eyes. His eyes were clear. He was just trying to survive.
But referee, the towel had nothing to do with the stoppage of the fight. Referee Steele told me he stopped it on his own.
Well, I guess in his opinion, he was the man doing the work out there, so he must have seen things that you and I could not see.
Did Holmes' display with you make you want him more than ever?
Well, we're going to fight. Right now, I don't look past any fights. I'm fighting Mike Weaver, so I don't like to look past. I like to take each fight as it comes. I love to be a fighter. I'm happy to be from America, and I just want to keep on fighting and keep learning and do the best I can to attempt my goal as heavyweight champion of the world.
I want to tell you something. You're conducting yourself beautifully.
Thanks
A
very
lot of
much,
class. I'm glad you were here tonight in spite of the incident.
Crazy. It's okay, but
Only thing I wish it had been your lip that was cut instead of mine. You can understand. And so it's talk with Jerry Cooney, who's in the arena tonight, and we will be back in Detroit at ringside at the Joe Louis Arena. Okay, we're back live at ringside in the Joe Louis Arena. And presently, I am without communication, A, with my producer in the truck, and B, my monitors are not working. The picture comes back so we can see where we are. There is the ring as it presently is. And right there, you're looking at an earlier fighter in an earlier fight. The Spanish Bull, that's what they used to call him, Alfredo Evangelista. Now that kid's a fighter. That's a kid Jerry Cooney has to look out for. That's a kid I covered when he was an amateur from Louisville, Kentucky. The name, Greg Page. And he weighed in at over 230. I think he's at his best at 220. That's for his trainer to to side. But this kid is quick-handed and quick-footed. Keeps his hands down low in the manner of Ali. When I first saw him as an amateur, I thought he had the potential to be the best since Ali, and I say that in the presence of Jerry Cooney, who's sitting next to me. Look at that flicking left. Evangelista, no match for him. Oh, an occasional right, as you saw there, but that long flicking left. And notice the use of the ring. It was, as I told you in the main event, a 20-foot 6-inch ring. And Jerry Cooney is studying this round as intently as you at home, I hope, may be, because he knows the day may come when there'll be a showdown between him, Jerry Cooney, and young Greg Page. Greg told me after this bout, he finished Evangelista off in the second round. He said that title must come back to Louisville. And he's not abashed about the fact that he fights in the manner of the once youthful and great Ali. Look at the quickness of those hands, Jerry. The combinations. And don't be misled, he has awesome power. He proved it in the second round when Evangelista was knocked out. But this was first round action, shown to give you a glimpse of what Greg Page is like now. See the movement? When he keeps his hands at his sides, it's because he's a master at slipping punches with his head. The head goes side to side. The head moves back and somehow stays substantially out of range. You see the countdown to round one in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Once I saw this kid, excuse me, 1 minute, Jerry, a point I want to make. I did Greg Page against the second Cuban heavyweight, who's now really the first, on Hell Me On in Houston, Texas, a few years ago. This kid learns, because he had Me On beat up in the first round and then fell prey to Me On's style, relaxed, and Me On won the fight, and Page knew it. You were going to say, Jerry.
I was at home watching that fight.
What?
I was at home watching the fight when you were there and he was fighting the Cuban heavyweight.
That's right, and he learned a big lesson that day, Jerry.
I seen Greg Page get a fight in Madison Square Garden on the Ali Holmes fight card. And I saw him get hit on the chin by the name of Bigfoot Johnson. And his career was almost stopped right there. He got hit with a right hand and was on Queer Street for the rest of the round. Talented fighter, but he's got no defense at all. No defense. All these guys he's fighting are staying away from him. They're not putting any type of pressure on him.
Okay, maybe you're right. We shall see in time, because someday you're going to have a showdown with him. Hey, Jerry, thanks again.
It's a pleasure.
So that was the first round. Page against Evangelista. Evangelista was done away with in the second round, which we'll show you in just a minute. Again, the Joe Louis Arena, and round two. Evangelista in his corner, Greg Page in his. Page easily won the first round. Interesting comment Cooney made, because Jerry's an honest kid. Thinks Page is lacking severely in defense. Well, in this second round, you'll see Page on offense. I think Jerry underrates Greg's defense greatly, because I think he underrates his quickness. Right there, a good blow to the chin by Evangelista. But I think you'll discover that Page can take a punch. There, that right! He was moving away from Evangelista, and still the right got to him. And Evangelista having trouble getting up. Finally, doing it. Page has great power with either fist. What evidence in that right. Look at him measure. Now it's just a cleaning up. That was it for Evangelista. And so Greg Page with, for him, a big victory. And the young man understandably jubilant. The way it was earlier tonight in the Joe Louis Arena, as Greg Page did away with his opponent. It's been a kind of wild night, unexpectedly so. First, there was Michael Dokes, normally not a puncher, who suddenly stood flat-footed and became a puncher. But I'll get to that in a minute. Slow motion of Greg Page here in action against Evangelista. Look at that right. The left to the belly, the left to the head. And the Spanish Bull was no longer. And then in more slow motion, I would think you've seen about enough of this. There went the bull. second round knockout by Greg Page. Not a TKO. There was Greg after the fight winking at me because, well, he started as an amateur and I did most of his amateur fights. In the meantime, here in the Joe Louis Arena this evening, it started with Chris Schenkel bringing you Michael Dokes against the European heavyweight champion, John Gardner. Gardner had never been knocked out. Dokes fought differently. Never possessed seemingly of a punch. He stood flat-footed, and he knocked out John Gardner in the fourth round. It was a TKO. Now, in the Holmes Spinks fight, that was a TKO at 126 of the third round. We are apparently going to look at some replays again of that. Here it is. Larry Holmes. Spinks in the corner, the right, the left to the midsection, measuring him with the left, hitting him with the right, measuring him with the left again, pawing him to set him up, the right uppercut, and it was merciless. Then the right again. That's Richard Steele closely looking on, the referee. Holmes criticized Steele after the match, said he should have stopped it earlier. Jerry Cooney, an onlooker, said he thought that the fighter's eyes, Leon Spinks' eyes, were clear, and he was surprised it was stopped. Again, I disagree there with Jerry. Spinks' corner had thrown in the towel, but Steele said throwing in the towel didn't matter, and Steele's technically right about that. He said, I stopped it on my own. So it ended for Leon Spinks, and still another replay. There it is again. Very innocently, as we return to the Joe Louis Arena, and I am apparently going to come back on camera with a non-bleeding lower lip. Here is the wildness that occurred. I had interviewed Larry Holmes. His arm encased about his wife as we discussed the fight against Leon Spinks, which wound up as a mere workout for Larry. I think he proved something about himself as a fighter tonight. And then a production assistant espied Jerry Cooney as I began to talk to Larry about a potential fight against Jerry Cooney. The assistant brought Jerry over. Larry leaped to his feet. It was reminiscent of a studio scene I once had to go through between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier when both were in their prime. This time, Larry's elbow inadvertently hit me on the lower lip, causing a very mild flow of blood, and I suspect deep concern on the part of my lady Emmy at home watching the telecast. Fortunately, no damage done. Cooney conducted himself as a perfect gentleman. I have always found Larry Holmes to be a perfect gentleman. I think he made a terrible mistake tonight, but it was an outburst, impetuous, impulsive. I'm sorry he did it. If I know Larry Holmes, he's sorry he did it too.